How's it going, everybody? This is Jay Luxine, and let's talk about the seventh day of the impeachment trial of our Vice President Sara Duterte. So today, nothing much happened except the discussion on whether or not they should subpoena, or the Senate would allow to subpoena the banks to open Sara Duterte's account. They were going back and forth whether or not this is important or if it's relevant to the impeachment trial. At the very beginning of the discussion, Senator Joel Villanueva was asking, why do we have to subpoena the banks, or, for the records, if the SALN was already provided by Sara and her team? In which Jokno responded that SALN, while it is useful, it does not give the full picture of Sara's net worth, right? It's basically Jokno's words, where SALN is just like a snapshot of what Sara truly has in her account. Therefore, it is important to subpoena, for the bank records, just so we have, or they have, a much clearer picture. However, the defense argued that while they are okay with opening an account, not all of the accounts, the prosecution did not follow due process. What is the due process? Well, the defense was asking that, give us a specific account that you want us to open, and we'll give it to you. Because what the prosecution did was listed every single account that Sara has. And according to the defense, that's just not possible. That's not right. Number one, he said that it's not legal, it's not right. And number two, it's not relevant to the impeachment trial. According to the defense attorney Poa, it's not relevant because if they agree to open all of the accounts, every single account that Sara and Mans has, then it becomes a fishing expedition for the prosecution. How does it become a fishing expedition for the prosecution? Kasi ganito, if the prosecution is accusing Sara of unexplained wealth, right, and they want to open an account, they should have a clear, solid evidence that says, okay, here's our evidence. Now, that's why we believe she has an unexplained wealth. Therefore, with this evidence, we would like to request or subpoena for this account, the specific account, to be opened. Does that make sense? Hindi pwede yung just because we think she did something, we should open all of this. Because ang possibility niyan is they truly don't have any evidence dun sa allegations nila kay Sara. That's why they wanted to open all the accounts para they can find something. Yun yung fishing expedition. They can find something in all of those accounts and say, now see, now we have an evidence sa allegations namin against Sara. We can't do that. Turns out you can't do that. You have to have a solid evidence first to show the Senate and say, now, okay, we have this evidence to prove na meron siyang unexplained wealth, and with this evidence and with this allegation, we would like to subpoena this account and this account only. You can't subpoena all of them. Does that make sense? So basically, si Attorney Poa of the defense was saying na walang basis yung allegations nila against Sara for unexplained wealth. That's why wala silang mabigay na rason why we should open a specific account. So if you don't have a reason to show the Senate, to ask for a subpoena to open all of these accounts, then it's basically looking like wala silang basis. It's just an allegation, and they're hoping na pag i-allow ng Senate na ma-open lahat ng accounts, then they could find something to back up their allegations. Also, Attorney Poa was pointing out na it's irrelevant to the impeachment trial because financial transaction does not equate net worth. So basically, yung financial transaction, yung labas-pasok ng pera, it does not equate wealth or net worth ni Sara. especially if the prosecution is trying to tie it with Sarah Sal-N. Kasi ganito, ang transaction, yung in and out ng pera, it happens over the course of years. However, Sal-N is only done on specific times of the year. On this one, it's December 31st of every year. Next, Attorney Cayetano pointed out a really good point there when he was asking, why do we have to go all the way back to 2007 when Sarah only became the vice president in 2022? Okay, and then Jokno was kind of hesitant to answer that, but he was saying, which to me, I think basically proved the point of fishing expedition. Jokno responded by saying, well, if we could find something in her account or record of her account in 2007 when she was still vice mayor of Davao City, then for sure we can now explain that, you know, she would also logically do it when she becomes vice president of the Philippines, because now it's a much bigger reach, much bigger money, so to say. Dito na talaga kasi yung pinakamabigat na discrepancy in the allegations that the prosecution is, you know, putting against Sarah, because, you know, they can't even answer the question, why go all the way back to 2007 when we are trying to impeach her as a vice president, which she only started in 2022. If you want to look at her 2007 records, then you should done that before and impeached her as the vice mayor of Davao City, because that 2007 record is when she was the vice mayor, not the vice president. So basically, yes, prosecution and Alan Cayetano was saying, yes, we're willing to open a specific account. Also, we should only be looking at impeaching Sarah based on the 2022 record of her account up to the day forward. We can't look all the way back to 2007, because that's just not fair to her. She wasn't vice president then. So it's becoming even more clear na ang prosecution does not really have a substantial proof to back up their allegation against Sarah when it comes to unexplained wealth. That's why they want to open all of the accounts, you know, to look for something to say, yeah, here we found something. Or they want to go all the way back to 2007, which doesn't really apply because she wasn't vice president then. Now, as for me, I do want to open up Sarah's account. But I also agree with Attorney Poa that it shouldn't be everything, because then that's invasion of privacy na, right? Anybody would feel invaded if you want to look at everything, all of my accounts, just so you can find an evidence for your allegations against me. The prosecution's job, or what the prosecution should do, is have a solid proof to say na we can really back up our allegation about unexplained wealth against Sarah with this proof. Therefore, we want to open this specific accounts, right? Then that will make it fair for everyone. And that's what I want to happen, because I do want to see if Sarah is guilty of this. I do want to see what really is going on. And Sarah being quiet about all of this is not helping, right? It only makes the Filipino people speculate more, right? However, I want to do it the right way. And to be fair with Jokno, he did answer most of the questions really well. I was sitting there listening to him and I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. I agree to that. And, you know, I could see that. Pero dun lang talaga sa having to go all the way back to 2007 and wanting to open all of the accounts, because that's really invasive na, of privacy. You know, I've learned now when you're going through this kind of ano tawag ito, court sessions, you can't just subpoena for all of them to be opened up. You only have, you can only ask for specific ones which you think will be backing up your allegations of the unexplained wealth. So yun, like I said, nothing much happened. It's just a discussion between lawyers and the senators if they should open the accounts. Well, At the end naman, si Jesus Cordero opted to allowing to open the accounts. Another thing I want to mention: there's differences between the search warrant and the subpoena. So search warrant, whatever they find during the search could be taken straight to court as evidence. However, for the subpoena, it could be taken and then put into consideration by both party, defense and prosecution, if they want to use it in court as evidence. So this is where Jokno was saying, no, we can ask to subpoena all of the accounts because otherwise we're not going to take all of them to court directly. We're gonna sit down with it and discuss which one we can use as evidence to the court when it comes to Sarah's impeachment. But then again, the defense is saying, hindi nga. If we open everything, then it becomes a fishing expedition for you. Just tell us which one and we'll open it for you. So that's the difference between search warrant and subpoena. As subpoena, you'll have a chance to decide whether or not you want these evidences to be used to court. And then search warrant, you don't have a choice. Everything that will be found in the search will be used in court as evidence against you. Okay, so, but in the end, Chief Escudero decided that yes, accounts will be opened, but like I said, it will be discussed which one will be used as evidence during this whole proceedings for Sarah's impeachment. So yun na yung end nun. Really nothing much happened, just discussions between lawyers. I want to ask this though, if we're listening or we're watching this, let's keep an open mind. Let's not be super fanatic of Sarah that we don't see the mistake anymore, if there is, or let's not be too against the prosecution that even though they're pointing out really good information or they're really proving things the right way, we don't see it because we're just so blinded with our being fanatics of Sara Duterte. Let's be of level ground here because we're talking about our country. Remember, we're not just talking about a single person. We're not just talking about Sara Duterte. We're talking about our country. Okay? So let's just keep an open mind to all of this and be willing to hear out each other. We got this. Kaya natin eh. Let's be better Pinoys.